Hey friends, Vanessa Fernandez here from the Enneagram Workshop, and we're going to talk about goal setting because, of course. And I really believe that when we set goals, those goals are usually influenced by two things: what we believe we are worthy of. So any goal that you're going to set is going to at least be something that you believe is in the realm of possibility of you being worthy of it happening. When we're facing resistance to accomplishing those goals, even though we thought we felt like we were worthy of them, somewhere deep in our subconscious, or maybe even not that deep, we are having resistance and feeling like, I don't know if you're really worthy of that. Oftentimes we think, I just need better tactics, I just need better strategies, I just need better tips and tricks for getting this done. When in reality, what we may need to do is actually work on raising self-worth. And every Enneagram type places their self-worth on something outside of themselves, rather than locating it in their own intrinsic humanity. Not because type 1s you're good enough, not because type 2s you have the love and support of people around you, not because type 3s you are successful in all that you do and super impressive, not because type 4s you are exceptional and special, not because type 5s you are competent and well prepared, not because type 6s you have the support of your community and you are doing what's good for the common good, not because type 7s you have so many contingency plans that you're going to be okay, not because type 8s you can control your world and make your will come about, not because type 9s you can orchestrate peace for yourself, right? Every Enneagram type takes their worth and sets it outside of themselves because we kind of doubt that we are enough to be deserving of good things just in and of ourselves. We have to fabricate it. Nobody knows that better than a type 3, but all the types do this because your goals that you're pursuing are only going to happen when they are aligned with your internal sense of self-worth. The lower your self-worth, the less you're able to execute on your goals. I don't want you to waste your time. I don't want you to waste your time working hard towards achieving a goal that's not aligned with your internal sense of worth, and it's never gonna work. Let's raise that self-worth. Let's see where the cracks are. Let's see where externally you're placing your self-worth on things that are shaky ground. And let's pull that back in so that it sits right here where it belongs. The second thing that goals are influenced by is also how comfortable we feel taking risks. And I talked about this over on Instagram, because a risk is I'm going to endeavor to do something with an unknown outcome. Setting a goal is the same thing. I'm going to endeavor to do something with an unknown outcome. Both your sense of worth and your comfortability taking risks were influenced in childhood. And they remain largely unconfronted into adulthood. But how many of us actually looked back, considered where those messages came from of why it's okay or not okay to take risks? What risks are okay? What risks are not okay? What risks can I handle or can I chance to take, and what risks are a bridge too far, right? Looking at all of these things, we typically don't. So those can be the things that are the invisible resistors pulling us back toward a goal that we really want to achieve, and we're just not getting there. But let's break down goal setting first. What do I mean by goal setting? Because there's a lot of people who say, oh, I don't set goals, and I pick a word for the year, or I have just a general idea of I just want to grow this year. I kind of want to call bullshit on that. Anytime you intend to do something and then fulfill that intention, you have set a goal and then you have achieved it. We do them every day, all the time. We just don't envision them the same way we would maybe a New Year's resolution type of goal. But make no mistake, we all make goals and we all achieve goals every day. So this month in my Freedom Seekers community, which is the membership that I run where we do group work around Enneagram, this month we are going to be exploring where each type might be lacking self-worth, where every type might be saying, I don't deserve that, or I need that in order to be complete. Okay, that's a misalignment from your self-worth. And how to calm ego down when it starts resisting against something that it feels is too risky. And again, when I say risky, I'm not talking about mountain climbing. I have been wanting to write a book for years. I would say at least 7 years. And It's not that I don't know how. I can't write a book. I'm a writer. I can write. Why have I not written for 7 years? Why have I always found an excuse? Because my ego felt that it was too risky for my words to be out there, for my thoughts to be exposed. And it wasn't until I did the work of understanding the fear that my ego was responding to, understanding that my self-worth was in a place where I felt like, oh, I could never do that. Something outside of myself in order for me to be worthy of writing a book. So my self-worth wasn't there. My ego was responding to this being way too risky. And as soon as I was able to identify the fears, deregulate my ego, and raise my self-worth to come back to where it should be, I started writing a book this last year. I am 15,000 words in, and it has been like butter. It has been effortless. The words have been pouring out of me. Why could I not do it for 7 years? Even though I wanted to, even though it was on my little vision board every year, what made this year different? It wasn't that I learned some new tactics. It wasn't that I learned some fancy new way. It's that I addressed my self-worth and I addressed the fears that were making it feel too risky for my ego to allow for me to take action on it. These are two foundational things we have to address. And then the actual goals will be as easy as making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm not saying it's not work. To write those 15,000 words, I had to get up at 5:30 every morning for weeks on end and write for an hour before my 4 kids got up, and then we started with our day. It was work, but it was joy. I was up out of bed, so many ideas, sitting down, writing, looking at the time. Crap, it's already been an hour. I've been writing for an hour. I want to keep going. Yes, I did the work, but the work was in alignment with my worth. The work was in alignment with my safety, because now I had to adjust those fears that made writing a book too scary. Do you see the difference? This is where we are going to have our conversations revolve around in the Freedom Seekers community this month, and I am so excited. We will also discuss some tactics for helping to create new habits, because yes, there are tactics and strategies for breaking big goals into small bits, for how to create actionable steps that are easy to follow, that yield great results, that allow you to write 15,000 words and hopefully more as I continue to write this book. But I found that if we fail to address the worth and the risks first, the tactics are useless. We are going to also discuss how orientation to time affects each Enneagram type. Aggressive types 7, 8, and 3 are future-oriented. Obviously, to set goals, you have to have a vision for the future. We're going to talk about how your orientation to the future may need to be balanced with an ability to be in the present and learn from the past. Withdrawing types 9, 4, and 5, are oriented to the past and also can have a really great imagination toward the future, but have a really hard time taking action in the present. The dependent types 1, 2, and 6, are oriented to the present moment and can have more of a difficult time looking to the future and having those clear visions of what they want to bring about, and may also have a little bit of a difficult time looking at the past and learning the lessons with clarity, so that when they're operating in the present moment, it's informed by both their future desired outcome and lessons they've learned from the past. So every Enneagram type has that different orientation to time, and that affects how we approach goal setting. We're going to talk about that also in the Freedom Seekers community. Hopefully this has been super helpful for you as you're thinking about goals. Do not neglect the way that you value your worth. Do not neglect doing work around what is risky to you and why it's risky to you. Every Enneagram type has a different thing that's risky for them. All of the tactics, all of the strategies fall flat. They don't have traction. And honestly, it makes it so much more work when you're trying to hustle against your self-worth. When you're trying to hustle against your ego, you're gonna get exhausted. That's why we give up on our goals. I don't want that for you. It's been beautiful to see my clients in this community really thrive, really have a deeper understanding of how knowing the Enneagram can actually impact their life and facilitate growth for them. And I cannot wait to get into all the work that we have this month around goal setting. I invite you to join us. There's a link in the notes of this video for you to click and learn more information about the Freedom Seekers community. We're gonna do some really good work this month, and I hope that it will help you to set amazing goals, to stand in your worth, and to be able to have greater awareness around where your fears might be holding you back.